Welcome back to the Average at Best show. On this show, we honor the late, great Kevin Samuels by reviewing his conversations with modern women. His work was legendary, but without further ado, let's get into it.
That they respect, admire, and are attracted to. Gentlemen, if you are with a woman that does not admire you, you might as well bounce. If she doesn't admire you, admiration needs to be high up. Because admiration translates differently for women. Women don't leave men they admire. They go through stuff. I'd rather give $5 and a penny to the exec. I appreciate it. Uh, you have female dating coaches switching sides. I know. Switching sides, what they won't admit. You women over 25 are too tough. And see, the thing is, and over 40, I was talking to women this week. I'm not going to say who because I don't want them to think I'm talking about, but there's been several. You're starting to see more women over 40.
Now, since my channel is not in the thousands and hundreds of thousands yet, I can play these clips a little bit better than other people can play them and won't get a copyright strike. But at the core of it, what he did and the conversations he was having needs to get out. Whether the new owner, the inherited owner of these videos and his work, whether they go around and try to take all of these videos down, that's fine. Do what you have to do. But if they make it over to my stream, my channel, and try to take it down, I feel that I've done what I needed to do. And to make sure that even though Kevin is gone, women, you don't hear his name in the media anymore, especially in African-American Black media. But his work was still important. And just because he's gone, the pressure on turning the tides on what happened with our relationships in our community, we still want to make sure that happens. All right, let me keep going. He's going to get to his conversation in just a minute, but I want you to hear what he was talking about.
In relationships with younger men. Why? It makes them feel, because that's all they can get. They can't get men on their level. They can't get their colleagues. They can't get their colleagues. They can't get their the director or the CEO. They can't do.
And I want to piggyback on that. And I don't think it's necessarily that they do not want to get someone who's more advanced than them. I believe, especially and I'm speaking to our community most of all, because we have issues with fathers. Our fathers are going out of the home, have been alienated and ostracized. They want someone they can control. They want someone who won't outshine them. Kevin started off his stream talking about someone who they can admire. But honestly, if they admire them, then that means that their shadow may be cast further than their shadow. And they don't want that. Because for the most part, they haven't grown up with men who they admired in the first place, because there were no fathers, no grandfathers. The only strong male figures they seen in our community were pastors, athletes, entertainers. We talked about that. The young men or boys they came in contact with were their little brothers, their some cousins, and how are brothers, cousins, and sons treated? They're treated just like without any type of respect. They would like to have a man that makes more money than them, but they don't have to necessarily give uh, respect and honor to. Because if that person has that type of honor and respect, then they can point right at them and say, "Hey, we're going to do this way. We're going to do this that way," and that is something that they are not. They don't want to. They don't want to do that. They don't want to do that. I remember in my date years, after my divorce, I ran into a lot of women like that. Is that they, yes, yeah, you're a six figure earner. You drive a Mercedes. I don't want that because now I feel I cannot help you do anything. I can't take responsibility for any advancement that you have. So therefore, I want to find somebody that I can say, "Well, you got this because of me. You got this because of me." And I used to tell people like, "I don't need you. You can't help me do anything." And that's something that most of them grow up with. They're not with that because they're not used to that. I mean, think about all of the men in growing up. What man, if he was not a pastor or some type of entertainer, that when he came into your life you respected, or even if you respected that grandfather that or that uncle, did the wife of that grandfather uncle respect that man, honor that man, show difference to that man? And uh, so I didn't mean to get on that rabbit trail. I'm gonna fast forward so we can get into these conversations. I don't have much time here today.
Do that. So they got to get a guy who's on their sexual marketplace value level.
Oh,
They
I
can't
skipped
get
too
their,
far.
they can't
There we
get
go.
their colleagues. They can't get their colleagues. They can't get their the director or the CEO. They can't do that. So they got to get a guy who's on their sexual marketplace value level. Hello, how are you? How old are you? 52. All right, just a second. 52. How long have you been watching my program? Okay. All right. Click to start. Let's do it. Children? Um, and what do you do for a living? All right. So, do you want a relationship? When was your last one?
Here's 52 years old, no children, some type of quasi executive for a community health center. Okay. Community social work. Back to it.
Last year meaning. And why did it end?
We were not a good fit.
And you were together for a year? Was it a long distance relationship? Because I'm starting, huh? What'd you say? All right. And who ended the relationship?
And if you listen to Kevin a lot, you learn a lot of these things that yeah, women in relationships on an 80% clip versus men. Um, I think one of the reasons why we do this is because um, men get in a groove. Uh, we begin to level out like water. Like if you throw water into a certain in a certain void, it will begin to level out at some point. The water won't stay in a slope. It'll begin to level out, whether it's going to level out high or level out low. And and so we'll say, okay, we realize that okay, the person that we're going to be with, we're going to get this, and this out of this relationship, and we begin to say, okay, well, and what which is a bad word, is that we settle into the relationship. Most of us know that we can't, we can't have it all. So anyway, and what happens is that many women, they don't stay. They say, oh, I'm not going to settle, and so they see things are not going the way they want them to go, and then they jump ship.
Okay.
That's what I learned for Kevin.
So, what do you want from a man? High level.
I think the most important thing is someone who is self-assured and self-aware and interested in continuing that growth. Someone who is intellectual, and I do like to have long, wandering conversations. Someone who's active, likes to play, and spends time on continuing to be plastic and not be rigid as we get older. And someone who I think loves himself enough to be able to understand how to love someone else, and that's a journey, even for, including for myself.
Before Kevin answers her, you see how the way she explained it, who would argue with this? Who would argue that that women should have exactly what she asked for? That was such an eloquent explanation of what she felt she wanted and deserved from a relationship. Look at her. Look at the queen. She can call her shot. Look at that. Look at her. She can call her shot. I'm gonna make this just a little bit bigger so you can see. Look at that. Look at her. Man, oh man, look at that. She has told you, has went down the line of exactly on what she should have. I mean, she's a developer or whatever from for a community health center. Okay, let's go back to it. Let me put myself back. How about right there? Okay, I'm gonna put my make myself smaller. Okay, there we go. All right, let's go.
Okay. So one thing I'm gonna start asking folks is to have good lighting and better Wi-Fi. Cause my
Oh, I'm sorry.
no no problem. Okay. So, but and then what what is he gonna get in return?
I think in return, he gets a great supportive partner who is open-minded and I think pretty.
I don't mean to just interrupt here. Cause what kind of support part? You going to support me in becoming a dictator or a drug kingpin? Are you going to support me in my career if I wanted to be a 45-year-old rapper or try out for the NBA and start training for the NBA again? Are you going to support me in that? Are you going to support me in my singing career, even though I can't sing and I can't and I'm tone deaf and I can't remember lyrics and melodies? Are you going to support me in all that? Or are you just talking? Anyway, that's not what we want.
Self-accepting of others and their foibles, not in the business of trying to change.
How about this? Are you going to support me in maybe my uh, open-minded sexual preferences? Maybe I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to start being more adventurous in the bedroom. Right? Were you going to support me in that? Yeah, that's just a bunch of fluff. Been hearing it, and you think it sounds good until you have someone like Kevin snap you out of this, be able to answer it in a very logical way. Please get to. I'm sorry, I keep stopping.
Anyone, we meet people where they are and kind of move on from there. Someone who is creative and still is, I think, an active pursuit of.
Are you looking at my facial expressions and understand? Are you listening to the words you say and how they're coming across to me?
Yeah, it's a little bit like, really?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Well, I mean, that's what's in my head, you know?
But why do you think that is? Why do you think that's what I'm doing?
I would assume that you imagine that it seems kind of not comfortable in some fashion?
Well, I think it's a lot of damn words for a 52-year-old woman.
Oh, well, maybe that's why I'm single. But, okay, honest, um, financially secure,
What does that mean?
Okay.
meaning that he's able to maintain his
How much is your
lifestyle.
femininity? How much does your submission cost annually? How much does he need to make?
I mean, whatever he needs to cover his expenses.
Okay.
Oh, I just want to explain this because sometimes these things used to go over my head until I heard it like 1,000 times. He said, "What? How much does your submission, your submissiveness, and your femininity cost?" I think that's what he said. Well, how much does he have to make to be able to claim that from you? See that brings out that gets rid of all of the fluff. Okay, based on your femininity, based on your submission, how much does that cost? Okay, get back to it.
I'm gonna challenge that. Do you make more than $50,000?
Yeah,
More than 75?
yeah,
More than 100?
yeah.
Okay. And why I'm challenging this, folks, is because I realize that as much as attention matters to women, lifestyle matters more these days.
Actually, I'm a minimalist.
It's different being a minimalist and you make over six figures because that's a matter of choice. Minimalism because you don't make the money is different.
Right, but I
And
think
listen to what okay.
I've always been this way. I think possessions are a trap.
You didn't even let me finish saying what I'm saying. You didn't let me finish saying what I'm saying, so you don't know what I'm talking about.
No, maybe I should listen. Go ahead.
Lifestyle. The things we like to do. I didn't ask you about the shoes you wear.
Oh,
I'm talking about, first of all, even the way you're communicating is highbrow. Fine. It's above average, ma'am. You use a lot of words, and most people are very simple. And then you say, oh, just so you can pay care of his bills. So if I put you in a room with a guy who's an average earner, what do you think average income is for a black man in this country?
I would say probably about 50,000.
$41,000.
Okay.
$20.50 an hour. When's the last time you made $20 an hour? Doesn't matter. What kind of professions do these guys have?
It's run the gamut from artists.
No. For making $41,000 a year.
Oh, professions. I would say maybe not for profit,
Got,
blue collar.
Have no idea. No idea.
I don't know. I don't know.
No idea.
yeah, that's the issue. I put you in a room with average men and you don't know anything about them. So when you say, oh, all I have to do is make such and so forth, that's bullshit.
Why?
I just showed you why. You can't relate.
She doesn't want to. She
You and a
doesn't
man
want to
who's
understand.
intellectual and this and that, that by definition is an above average man.
Right.
Okay.
All right. At 52 years old with no kids, that's highly unlikely.
Okay.
Do you know why?
Why is that?
Why do you, okay. The men you've dated, have you asked them what it's like to date you? How do they experience you?
For the most part, I would say that it's really easy to be around and hang out with and and spend time. But
I
some of
would
the
doubt
challenge
that.
areas is
I would doubt that.
I think I can kind of push buttons because I'm always kind of digging into the why of things, and that can be
Hmm.
exhausting.
Right.
Um,
So you're easy to be
but
around,
I
but you're also exhausting.
typically
Okay.
don't have a lot of negative reviews. I'm friends with most of my exes for the most part. Uh, you know.
Yeah. I can tell that being with you will be exhausting.
Is it? Why?
Even talking, it's like, okay, you want a man to be your entertainment.
There it is.
You want him to be your friend, the person you read. That's not our job.
No, no, no. I don't want it to be
Ma'am,
my.
I go back to what you said at the beginning, and
Hmm.
that ain't who men are.
Hmm.
I asked you
No, you
what.
don't need to be my entertainment at all. In fact,
I
I'd
don't
like
care
to
what you
be.
call it, ma'am. Your distraction, whatever word.
Uh-huh.
That ain't where we are. And see, right there,
Okay.
right there, the intent. I don't care. It's not entertainment. Well, whatever that is, that ain't what men are. And I think you know what I'm telling you that. Men are not intellectual, this and that. I want to be able to read and da 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 and have long conversations. Is
Hmm.
that who men are?
No,
Right.
for the most part.
Then
Some.
why? No, 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 no. Don't see that some shit. Some make your booty run, so you don't need none. Why y'all do this? Some. Where did you get this list from?
It's. I don't know. I guess it evolved over time, and I kind of narrowed down on the things that were like really important to me. I suppose.
Right. Were your mother and father married?
I want to stop it right there because I don't want to go over 25 minutes on this show. But a few things. Of course, she makes over 100K, and many times, and what I've been explaining to a few of my friends is that um, as women, you want to try to play the game that men play, especially in our community. As you get more educated, you see that men in the past, not anymore, because of how the modern women has changed the dynamic, and social media and different things has changed the dynamic, is that men will make more money, make 100K, 200K, 300K, and you saw them. They're able to go out and get a very beautiful, attractive woman that a person making 30, 40, 50K could not get. Okay. So women said the same thing. Okay, what I want to do, if I make 100K, 200K, 300K, become a lawyer or a doctor, then I'm going to go out and be able to get a handsome, high value man that other women at 20, 30, and $40,000 uneducated could not get. The only difference is this: when we went for looks, and you guys go for status. But but men in higher status want looks, not other women with higher status. And if you want to do the same thing that men do, you go get you a handsome, young, good-looking guy. But the only thing you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to support them fully, like someone with a higher status person with a higher status man would fully support a beautiful woman. That's one thing. That's one thing. The second thing that I wanted him that you saw that what Kevin said was she wanted. He said he called her out. He said you want a guy to entertain you. So you go out on a date with a woman like this, and you got to have the best conversation. You have to tell her all of the vacations you've gone to. You have to be able to intellectual. You have to have read the books that she's read, went to the plays that she's went to, listen to the type of music she went. You're all doing all of this song and dance and different things like that. And you're doing this at 52 years old. When if I'm making that type of money, most likely I'm going to try to get someone who is physically attractive to me. I don't want anybody to entertain me in that type of way. I don't want to, if I'm a man and I'm out making one, two, three, four, $500,000 a year, I'm mentally sparring probably for 12, 13 hours outside of the day. I don't want to come home or go on a date with the person that I'm attracted to and have to spar with her as well. That's not what I do, and that's not what men do. And I'm glad Kevin called that out. But again, this is another credible conversation. I'm gonna stick a pin in this conversation, and I'm gonna come back to it and finish it off on the next time on the next show. All right, guys, take care.